our scriptures for today is from Philippians, and it talks about our bodies being transformed to reflect the gloriousness of Christ's body. And it reminded me of this poem I wrote the morning that I woke up to the news about the Pulse nightclub massacre, where a mass shooter killed multiple people in a queer nightclub in Florida called Pulse. And when I had woken up that morning, it was a very quiet house. I was the only one awake. I found myself really missing my queer community that I had made out in Colorado that year prior to that June. And I had just moved back east the month before this mass shooting occurred. And so when I heard this news, I was alone and I was missing them. And so I did what a lot of people do when they're in mourning, which is eat a meal. And as I was preparing that meal, I just found myself sort of in shock and awe that while so many people, dozens of people, had their souls ripped from their bodies and had their lives taken way too early, that I was still here somehow. And how sometimes that feels like a fluke and other times it feels like a miracle. And so I'm thinking about what if the transformation of our bodies to reflect Christ's body, what if that transformation can happen if we just wake up to the notion and wake up to the knowledge that as beloved creations of God, there is a piece of the divine that lives in us inherently. And maybe that transformation is in that revelation of that knowledge that God lives in us. So this is the poem called The First Morning I Missed You After Pulse, June 12th, 2016. I carried myself downstairs so I could mourn publicly. Fixed breakfast with my own two hands, amazed I could still move my fingers. A world of science I will never learn, still alive beneath skin, slicing strawberries. Miracle, I thought. Miracle. Today I am more ready to understand the grace of God than my own biology. I know a part of God rests inside this body. It's the part of me that's weeping now. That part sliced the strawberries, turned the burner on. That part cried into an egg sandwich. That part carried me to the couch to find an empty house. And if I could carry myself to you, if I could carry myself through the entire Midwest again, if I could carry myself and lay myself down at your feet, I hope we live long enough to mourn together. There are things I want you to know before I die that I cannot speak, for I am not yet able.